Have you ever felt a deep burning ache in your stomach that just won't quit? Maybe it comes on when you're hungry, or maybe just after eating. You might be blaming it on stress or something that you ate, but what if it's actually your body trying to tell you that something is wrong? In today's video, we'll be diving into something that a lot of people ignore until it gets really serious, and that's peptic ulcers. A peptic ulcer is a sore or lesion that develops in the lining of the stomach or the upper small intestines called the duodenum. Now, these areas are normally protected by a thick mucus layer that buffers against stomach acid. But when this protective layer gets damaged, that acid then starts to eat away at the tissues underneath. There are two main types of ulcers. The first is a gastric ulcer, which is found in the stomach, and the second is a duodenal ulcer, which is found in the small intestines. Some ulcers are small and heal on their own, while others can be deep, painful, and dangerous when not treated. When it comes to peptic ulcers, the first symptom I want to talk about today is that burning or gnawing stomach pain. This is the most common symptom that we see, and it usually shows up in the middle upper abdomen just under the ribs. And it feels like a dull, burning, gnawing pain. And it may improve temporarily after eating or after taking antacids, but it generally returns when the stomach empties. And many people often say that it wakes them up in the middle of the night. Now, that stomach acid irritates those raw, open sores, or in other words, the ulcer, in the stomach or the duodenal lining, triggering pain. Now, the discomfort may come and go, but it usually follows some sort of pattern, whether it's around meal times or when fasting. So what causes peptic ulcers, and what are the other 4 signs to look out for? We'll be addressing that next. But first, I'm Katie Bailey. I'm a gut health dietitian at Oswald Digestive Clinic, where we help individuals improve and resolve their bothersome gut issues. If you're interested in learning more about gut health, I'll link our free guide, 5 Ways to Improve Your Gut Health, below in the description box. All right, so what actually causes that mucus layer to break down? Well, the first cause is H. pylori. So H. pylori is a type of bacteria that infects the stomach lining. It can spread through contaminated food, water, and even close contact. Once it is in your system, it then disrupts the mucus barrier and leaves your stomach more vulnerable to acid. The second most common root cause is the use of NSAIDs, so long-term and frequent use of painkillers over the counter like ibuprofen, aspirin, and naproxen can irritate that stomach lining and reduce mucus production, which is going to make you more at risk for these ulcers. Now, those are the 2 main root causes, but there are a few other contributing factors. So chronic stress can play a factor, excess alcohol use, smoking, a poor diet that's rich in a lot of processed foods, excessive spicy or acidic foods, low stomach acid, or imbalances in digestive enzymes. Now, usually it's a combination of these factors, which is why it's so important to really get to the root cause. Now that we know what an ulcer is and what causes it, I want to jump back into the signs and symptoms. So the second symptom you shouldn't ignore is bloating or excessive burping. So a constant feeling of fullness, pressure, and even swelling in the upper abdomen, even if you've only eaten a small amount. You may also notice frequent burping, sometimes accompanied by a sour taste. It happens after meals and may be worse with certain foods like fatty foods or spicy foods. The third symptom is nausea and vomiting. So the ulcer and related inflammation can overstimulate nerves in the stomach and cause delayed gastric emptying, both of which can trigger nausea, especially in the morning and after meals. In some cases, ulcers can actually block food from leaving your stomach, which can cause vomiting. If you notice frequent vomiting that has blood in it or shows like a coffee ground appearance, that is a serious red flag and you should seek medical attention. The fourth symptom is loss of appetite. So because eating often worsens the pain, a lot of people start avoiding food altogether, leading to decreased caloric intake, nutrient deficiencies, and weight loss. And this is especially common with gastric ulcers. The last symptom is dark and tarry stools. So this is going to indicate internal bleeding from the ulcer. As the blood from the stomach travels through the digestive tract, it's going to be broken down and it's going to darken. It's going to turn the stool black, sticky, and foul-smelling like tar. This symptom means that not only is the ulcer active, but it's actively bleeding, and you should seek medical attention. This may be accompanied by other symptoms such as lightheadedness, fatigue, and signs of anemia. So what's the risk if you ignore these symptoms? Well, peptic ulcers can lead to gastrointestinal bleeding like we talked about before. So this can cause anemia, and some people have it so severe that they may need blood transfusions. It can cause perforations, so a hole can form in the stomach wall that can lead to severe infections. And it also can lead to poor digestion, which we know can lead to nutrient deficiencies and further downstream digestive problems. In some cases, when left untreated, and especially when it's related to H. pylori, it can increase your risk for stomach cancer down the road. So is there anything that you can do naturally to help with ulcers? So there are a few natural strategies that can support healing and reduce symptoms, especially when paired with medical treatment when needed. So the first is DGL, which is just a form of licorice, and this soothes and protects the stomach lining. The second thing is mastic gum, especially if you have H. pylori. It has been shown to help to get rid of H. pylori and reduce gastric ulcer symptoms. Slippery elm and marshmallow root is going to coat and calm the digestive tract. Aloe vera juice is going to soothe inflammation and promote healing. And lastly, zinc carnosine helps to protect and heal the mucosal lining in the stomach. You also want to try to avoid NSAIDs, limit your use of alcohol, smoking, caffeine, eat smaller, more frequent meals might be helpful, and then manage stress. However that works best for you, whether it's light movement, deep breathing, meditation, whatever works. Now, these steps are not going to necessarily cure the ulcer, especially if it's severe or you've got an infection, but it can be powerful tools in your holistic healing plan. Now, natural remedies are great, and all these things we've talked about are really supportive to healing, but there is a point sometimes where we need to seek medical attention. Now, you're going to want to make sure you see the doctor if you're having severe stomach pain that lasts more than a week, if you're having a lot of vomiting and you notice blood, if you're losing weight quickly without really trying, and then if you find that you're having those really dark, tarry-looking stools. In conclusion, peptic ulcers are more common than you may think, and they can sneak up slowly. But the good news is when they're caught early, they are very treatable. If any of the symptoms we talked about today sound familiar to you, don't wait. Talk to your healthcare provider and start supporting your gut naturally today. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more nutrition videos. Let us know in the comments if you have any questions, and if you're interested in working with our clinic, you can click the link below to schedule an appointment. We do take insurance, and you can find more information about that on our website. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.